Yay. And we're live.
We are live.
Hooray.
As the title says, we get to hang out with Allison again, which is great.
Yay.
Welcome aboard, as always.
Always happy to be here.
Your gaming group's loss is our spectacular gain.
I agree. I should make this like a regular thing.
Hey, I'd be down.
Yeah.
Is it doing that autofocus thing again?
A little bit. I think I got it kind of straight. Yeah. It's I'm working with the new camera, so trying to get tweaking it.
Yeah. Well, this is episode 172. Welcome everybody to the stream. Tonight we're going to keep working, at least on my end, I'll keep working on the original art rewards for the Undersea Hero Kickstarter. But as you can see in front of me, we got the mini prints for the one of the stretch goals. These are one of the things that everybody that got a physical reward will get. The artwork I posted today was the field guide that I was working on my lunch break, and that will be a laminated piece that's illustrated that you can take into the field to the beach with you. If you see any fish or crabs or different local creatures to the Northeast Atlantic, you'll be able to identify them with your Undersea Hero field guide.
That's fantastic.
Silly fun stuff. So and the books, the good news is if everybody saw, the books are ordered. All the variant covers, they are all in line at the press. So it was a big day.
That is a big day. Yeah, I have some of my stuff that's going to press soon. Nice. I have the last Sentinel going to press.
Oh, great.
Finally getting that thing done. It's only about it's just, I'm not a year late yet, but I'm close. So,
well, you redrew it.
Yeah, I redrew the whole thing. So,
should we draw Jana War and Colonel Feathers, or should we do a new Undersea Hero? Maybe a new one.
Good question.
Where are my drawing stuff?
Oh, good. My Botrix has correctly joined the channel.
Martha says you're
blurry on my side. Yeah, it's new camera. Still trying to get it to work.
It might be the light.
Yeah, I'll try that. Try putting the light off to the side. So I'm gonna flip my overhead lights on real quick.
Just to see how it looks. Yeah.
Yeah.
While she's doing that, I'll just remind everybody the variant covers that we had done were by Craig Rousseau. He did a wonderful job. He just did the Herculoids over at Dynamite, and we were talking about it. And we think that he's actually the artist who's done the most Herculoids comics ever now, because nobody ever did like a long run of Herculoids comics,
which is sadly unfortunate.
Yeah. So. He also did, Batman Beyond, Spider-Man, Thor, Captain America, all the Marvel magazines that were on the newsstands. We've got our Joe St. Pierre variant, known for the Jacques Cousteau adventure books, and he also was an artist on Aquaman. Craig and Joe both worked on Aquaman. Joe, most notably, the most single #1 issues of Spider-Man and Venom. My buddy John Lucas, who he's been on the stream before. He did Deadpool, X-Force, Mad Magazine. He's done, all sorts of stuff. I love his work. And Rich Woodall, another New England staple who's done tons of Ninja Turtles. He was the publisher of Black Caravan Comics. He's done G.I. Joe. He also, back in the day, did Johnny Raygun. He did a series called Johnny Raygun. That was the first thing that I ever saw his work in, and I always enjoyed it. And it was a very fun space comedy adventure. And then he did a crossover, actually, which got finished not that long ago, between Johnny Raygun and Savage Dragon.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, and it was a very cool story, and lots of indie characters from all sorts of publishers show up in it. So if you see a copy, I recommend grabbing one. And Rich might actually still have them in his web store. I don't know. It was a pretty limited run, so I'm not sure.
Well, the absolute worst case scenario, what I could do here too, is I can swap the camera I use for my basically, as I call it, the mug shot on my other computer when I on live stream, put it here, and then use this one for my mug over there. Probably take me about 5 minutes to do the whole thing.
It's up to you if you want to take a stab at it.
Yeah, I'm just not very happy with the look.
Okay. Do you want me to just hide your camera while you're working?
No, you can keep it all there.
Okay. All right.
It's fine. It'll just pop in and out.
Okay.
Plus, I can talk. That would be something.
I was having one of those nights where I was working late and I had to go through the proof again because there was a change that needed to be made to the print specs based on the ink coverage that I had. So what we ended up doing, instead of just an uncoated stock, it's actually going to have a matte laminate cover. So they should be real sharp looking. It cost a little extra to get that done, but
well, that sounds pretty cool.
They should be sharp.
That sounds very cool.
This is, it's the first time I've published a perfect bound book for Fat Cat Funnies, so hopefully it's a good one.
Hey, Michael, I'll have to check out how you do it if I end up doing a perfect bound myself. So
yeah, I'm using the same company that Craig used for Perhapanauts, and his hardcover ticket just for me posters that he does.
Yeah. That's cool. That's very cool.
Michael says when he uses the Logitech cameras, he turns off autofocus and uses the Logitech app.
That'll probably be how I should do it then. Well, I will just set that up then. Just download the Logitech app and go from there.
Oh, I forgot to highlight Michael's opening. Hello, everyone in the stream and chat. I hope everyone's doing well. If not, may things get better for you. All right. Actually, it was just I've been rereading St. Pierre's New Zodiacs. It had been long enough to where I had become disconnected from it. And I like to reread my friends' books after a few years and just be like, well, what's the difference? What do I think? And a lot of the stuff I thought when I first read it still very much holds true. It's got absolutely beautiful artwork in it, and there's a story in it. I believe it was issue 4. Yeah, issue 4, with a character called Multa, that is like this giant rock creature. And the whole story of how it comes to be and its purpose and everything, it's just I'll show off a cool splash page from it. Yeah, that's the character Multa there.
Oh, that's awesome.
And yeah, it's still my favorite issue of the series. He got Joe Sinnott to ink one of his covers, before he passed away, which is pretty amazing. This character called the Lion is the premise of the book is that new avatars of the Zodiac are manifesting, so hence the new Zodiacs, and they have the power derived or inspired by that sign of the Zodiac. And it's a good read. It is. It really is.
I'm going to check that out.
And I just backed Ray Height's new Kickstarter over at Studio Sky Tiger. He's got a new one-shot coming out with a new writer and a new artist on Midnight Tiger. I was listening to. They just started doing a stream yesterday. I tried to share it, but they had some privacy settings. So the best place to watch it for now is on YouTube. And they've got these new books and all West Coast creators just doing stories based on like where they're from. And there was one idea that sounded just awesome where I was just like, that's not something I've ever read before. So it got me excited as the author mentioned doing a horror anthology of all stories based out of their home area in Compton in California. And I was like, wow, I've never read horror stories that would be coming from there. I was like, that's a whole new locale. That sounds cool to me. So
that sounds neat.
Yeah. So Studio Sky Tiger. Ray Anthony Height is the editor in chief and maestro over there, and he's an awesome artist who's worked on Spider-Man and Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur and all kinds of mainstream projects. And he created Midnight Tiger as his creator-owned character a number of years ago, and he's kind of been doing a renaissance with that character the last few years. And I don't know if this is the first time a different creative team has worked on it. I don't remember. But he got the rights back to his character from, I think it was Action Lab that they were originally at. And then they went out of business. And
yeah, that always sucks. All right, I'm going to drop out for a sec. I'll be back in a moment.
But comics made by humans is the thing. I'm going to go back with this first pose. This is more akin to what I had planned for these early bird sketches where it's like a bust or whatever. I got really carried away with the last one. I did a full figure, and I just can't do 30 full figure drawings for, I think what ends up being like $10 a piece or something. Just try to have some fun. One of the things that I've focused on lately with my work, how many more of the backer sketches? Backer sketches, I have to do 20. I think I've got 7 more to do. 7, I think. Well, these are just the early bird sketches. I still have a big commission of the tick to do. And then I have a couple of little watercolors I got to do. But like, I would be really happy if when the books are printed and arrive here, I could at least send out all the early bird backers. Because those are the people that decided to get the book like the first week, I think. Snoop Dogg Tales from the Hood. I haven't heard of that one. Is it like, is he doing something with it, or are they just like attaching his name to it? So, because with Ray, I know that he's going to have like creators who know their stuff. I don't know. I'm excited. The artwork was really had a ton of energy, really cool layouts. I'll have to look up the gentleman's name, Marcus, I believe. That's all right. Maybe when Allison comes back, I'll take a second to come off the stream and pull up the Kickstarter, tweet it out. But me, with nothing going on the stream and me looking for a link would be great streaming content. For those art fans in the region that I'm in, if you like Winslow Homer, there is a Winslow Homer exhibit at the MFA currently that I'm hoping to get to soon. Try a more relaxed pose where his hands are just. Oh, it was a movie series? Okay. I don't know, just sounded cool. hands are off a little bit here. We're going to have to do some revisions to it. But trying to keep it fun. I don't know why I'm just not quite as focused as I normally am on here. It's been kind of a weird day overall, to be honest. One of the things I was making a mistake on was having the cheekbones like vastly wider than they needed to be. And the eyes were too far away from the edge of the skull. That was a mistake I was making recently. But I just keep noodling and keep adding to it, so we can try to have some fun with it. Not get too worked up about it. And then making sure the collarbone is high enough. That's another mistake I was making on some of my drawings this week. Let's see if I have my eraser here. You working on anything good tonight, Martha's? You doing your left-handed drills, or you working on your working on a story? Oh, no worries, Martha. No rush, no rush. Just keeping an eye out for when Allison's trying to log back in. Yep.
Oh, all right, let's see if we can get this to work now.
Hello.
All right.
I'm guessing you will.
Yep, this might take me a minute, but yeah. Oh, wonderful darkness.
I tried the turning off the autofocus on mine at one point, and it for some reason the app conflicted with the streaming software. I could never figure it out, so I just ended up leaving it on and working around it.
Mm.
And it was one of those where I did the YouTube tutorial. I followed the directions that came with the box, and they were like, "Well, this should work perfect." It did not.
That's not good.
But we make do. The autofocus on the Brio that I got was better than the older Logitech one that I had for whatever reason.
That's actually what I'm using as a Brio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you've got the same thing.
Yeah. Virtual camera.
I did find it does need like a ludicrous amount of light.
Yeah, no, that's something I've kind of noticed myself.
Yeah. I've got like a desk lamp and my overhead light on.
Yeah, I was thinking kind of blast it out with light. What I might have to do is look into how I can utilize the app with this and then kind of go from there. This is basically me doing a quick workaround thingy and going from there with it. I think I can kind of see what the hell I'm doing on there. Hopefully people can see what the hell I'm doing.
I don't know, I keep messing with this here.
As I do my McFarlane style capes.
Big and swoopy.
Yeah, and they fold like paper. Might actually go up to Salem tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about checking out any shops might be up there to look at.
Well, there's Harrison's is still there, and then what's the other one? Silver Moon.
Yeah, those are the two I knew of.
Hey, Seashell.
But yeah, so I figured I might go up and check a few things out, kind of go from there.
Haven't been to Salem in a long time.
Oh, neither did I.
I think the last time I went there, I took the commuter rail up. And just met some friends there. There was I don't know if it's still there, but there was like a retro barcade there.
Oh, like the one down in Providence and stuff?
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
And it wasn't too far from the T station.
That's cool. Yeah,
Where do I shop for art supplies? I get most of my stuff online. A combination of Blick and Jet Pens is the website that has all of my fancy Japanese stuff. Sometimes I'm able to find things locally, like Bristol board for like this. I probably bought at Ocean State Job Lot because they get the closeouts of just smooth 9x12 Bristol, and I can get it for like I think it's $7 or $8 a pad.
Yeah, it's like $7, I think, because I whenever I go in, I wipe them out.
Yeah,
and then I'm like good for a year. I also have some 14 by 19. I have like 2 bricks of that.
Oh, nice.
That I got it up in the state.
Yeah, and you can cut it down if you want to.
Yep. And I have.
I've bought the parent size, but for some reason it feels thinner. Like the stuff that's even bigger, that's like poster size.
That's weird.
Yeah. And it says on the front like it's labeled the same and everything.
That's very odd.
Yeah. They do. They have a lot of art supplies there. And as long as you're getting basic stuff, like Ocean State's fine. Their brushes are generally not very good, but like their paints are fine, paper's fine. If you're looking to do just like little canvases, they usually have like the Liquitex there if you're a person that likes to use the acrylic paints.
Yeah, I think that's the acrylic stuff.
Yeah. Occasionally you'll see that they've got either Grumbacher or once in a while you'll see some of the bigger name brands of stuff. Occasionally when they get some stuff. Like they get the Strathmore.
Yeah.
Did I work on the Xmas flyer? I did. Yeah, that was a drawing I did for the Steamship Authority Christmas party. Yeah, last year I drew one of the new boats for the Christmas party, and then this year I did like the kind of like a little more abstract shot of one of the doors on the vessels with a wreath on it and lights around it. And I tried to make it more like a little homier. But it's all cross-hatching, and it's all two-tone, so it's blue ink with like red flat color areas. So
Watch as I mess with lighting.
What makes a bad brush? Because when they are bad, they are bad. Generally, it's when the thackle is tightly too bound, and then it's usually with like just crummy material, like they just use cheap material, and that it frays, and then when it gets hit by water. I mean, a good brush like should last you forever. I mean, you just keep cleaning it. Not forever, but like you should get some real mileage out of it if you have a good sable brush or
yeah. Yes, I apologize. I'm messing around with my new camera, so this is what we'll have to deal with for a bit. Need to do another once over with it, I think. But hey, I'm drawing. That's what matters. I kind of wanted to have this like liquidy kind of look with this guy's magic. Bubbly and things. Actually, what I will do, I'll swap this out for a different piece, which you can probably see better, that I was working on. I was actually doing this on my live stream the other day. And I started with a darker pencil. I'll definitely be channeling some Bernie Ricin with this project. You there, Ian?
I am. I just had an issue where my computer, for some reason, was going to sleep while we were streaming, so I had to change the duration.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, it set it to like 3 minutes or something. I was like,
that's weird.
Ridiculously slow. I don't know. It did do an update, so.
Oh, no. Updates.
We all know what can happen with updates. Yeah, if you take care of the brushes, like there's a few that I've had, almost oil brushes I've had since college, which was a long time ago. And then like my inking brushes, I can usually get, I'll say 3 years out of them. But you got to clean them, you got to tip them. Like there is a lot of maintenance to them, and you can't have them leaning up against anything. They have to be standing vertical. Sometimes you can oil them. Yeah. Happy belated Thanksgiving to you as well.
Yeah.
This year, usually I do cook, but this year Camille actually cooked, which was nice. So I just did I was working on the book, getting that ready to go to the printer, which it's now at the printer. So that was a successful thing. So I actually have them all coming from, I think the printer's in Chicago. I think that's what their website, I think, says. Let's see if we can pull this out any. I'm not happy with this drawing, but we'll see if we can turn it into something. I don't know. I just feel a little scatterbrained at the moment.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
I think it's because before we were setting up, I was dealing with, like how you're dealing with some troubleshooting now, I was dealing with the Ethernet situation.
Yeah.
Anytime I have to do tech support for myself before a stream, going into a stream, it usually affects how I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I generally like to have everything set up beforehand, and I wasn't really expecting the issues that I had, so
yeah,
that was my own damn fault for not properly testing the equipment.
We'll get through it.
Yeah. Let's see.
We both have it.
That one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I basically live in a basement. Literally. It's a finished basement. And I have a designated art area.
That's what I have for most of the places I've lived in. Kind of off to the side, you got your desk, you got your gear.
Yep, that's literally it. I'm literally surrounded by all my stuff. I have over vaguely in that direction over there. I have my paints and stuff like that. I have paper and other such things. Got my giant box of gouache. Other things around. I have a light board down there.
Thank you. Yeah. Have you been doing any painting yourself? Seashell, you had one painting that you'd done, as I recall.
I got my watercolors. I have tons of acrylic stuff all around me. I have all of my miniature stuff down here too. I even have a battle plate that I have to put together and paint.
Battle plate? Those
Yeah,
are miniatures?
Yep, man, it's a kill team from Warhammer.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And I just think these guys look really cool. Even if I never play the game, I just think these things look really cool. So, we got cheap viewers and stream boo. I'll take care of that little problem right now, you little fucker.
I know Jay did the Warhammer thing. Working 65 hours a week. My goodness.
Damn. You might have to kill that one. I can't kill it. I think it's on your end.
It's just over on. It's fine.
All right.
It's just a.
It's a bot.
It's a bot.
I say usually I run a bot that usually takes care of those problems, but it doesn't monitor your stuff. So
I'll have to get some notes from you how to set one of those up.
Yep. I'm more than willing to help.
Though to be honest, I haven't done much with Twitch, and I've considered just dropping it because, like I would say, I don't know the community as well. I just don't. I don't know.
I'm more of a YouTuber now than anything else myself. I use Twitch because of I'm an affiliate, so I potentially can make money off of it. People can subscribe and all that stuff. I don't think I've made pizza money. So
I also have seen no harm in leaving it just because it's free to connect to it through Restream or whatever.
Yeah, that's the other reason that I basically use it. One of the things I could do with Twitch also is I can set up my my outputs in OBS, so I could send music to Twitch and not to YouTube, and I can have it set on the Twitch playback to not have it, so it's only there when I'm streaming live.
That's interesting. They've added a bunch of music settings to Restream. I just haven't explored them.
I messed them a little bit myself. They are neat.
Would you like some corporate on-hold music?
Yeah, definitely. Seashell, I agree with you. Twitch is definitely the place for watching gaming streams.
Yeah.
Which I don't really do, so.
I mean, some other artists that I follow use Twitch, so occasionally I'll check out their stuff on there.
Yeah, Jim Lee does, and there's other people I follow that, aren't Jim Lee. So. No, I generally just like using my Restream and, connect to that.
Yeah, there's no harm in it.
No, Mike's got a good question here. When storing brushes vertical, are the hairs pointing downward?
No. I've got a brush holder here, and they stand up like this.
Yep.
And this one I actually need to put some tipping wax on. But yeah, this brush I've had a long time. This is and this isn't even a nice brush. This is just the Blick synthetic. And watercolor brushes tend to be pretty sensitive. So like even if you get the modestly priced synthetic ones, you still got to clean them.
Oh yeah. If you treat them well, they'll treat you well.
Yep. Mm. The Raphael brushes are probably the best now. I mean, the Winsor Newtons were traditionally the best, but like I can't say that, and I think most artists would agree, I can't say they're the same as they used to be.
They are not. I can attest.
Yeah.
The last two I got, not the same.
And they're expensive. And like I would say that the bristles on the Kuretake Sable brush pens are just as good.
Yeah. I actually kind of prefer my Kuretake brush pen to my Winsor Newtons.
Yeah.
And I have two pretty high-end ones.
Yeah, the blue pencil that I use, like it's kind of an optical illusion that it's disappearing because like it's still there. Your eye is more focused on the higher contrast when you see the darker stuff on top of it.
That's my Series 7 Winsor Newton.
Yeah, that's the classic brush.
Yep. Got another one around here too, so. But yeah, I have two Series 7s because I believe in having pairs.
Well, and you don't want to be working on a project where you need that line and it decides to,
quit.
Yeah.
Gives up the ghost, as it were.
Although, as Joe Kubert always used to say, it was the hand, not the brush, and he would prove that by using like a rolled up paper towel to ink a beautiful picture of Hawkman.
Yes, he would. I'm not Joe Kubert.
I used to use the really cheap brushes from Michaels. They had their own brand.
I used their stuff for a while.
But they had a 16.0, like the tiniest little liners that you could find. And they were actually pretty good. I used them for a long time. And they're 8.0, the 8/0 or the 16/0 aught brushes.
Yes, I think I still have some of the brushes.
Yeah, and they're cheap. They were like $4 a piece or something.
Yeah.
I used to use those, and they worked fine for a long time. You don't have to spend $1 million.
No, you don't. Matter of fact, I advise not spending $1 million. If you have $1 million to spend, give us money.
Well, Well, I mean, especially if you're learning, like
Yeah.
get some okay brushes and see what you like, because you might find that you prefer shaders to liners or any number of different like there are certain things you can only do with certain brushes, but when it comes to like what you put in your repertoire, you'll find certain things that you just prefer for, painting trees, painting leaves. Maybe you like a fan brush, maybe you hate fan brushes, and there's a million ways to do it.
Very true.
If you ever watched The Joy of Painting, Bob Ross had a very specific way of showing people how to use a fan brush to do trees. But when I'm in school and we're doing landscape painting, they show you 7 other ways to do it. So
Yeah, they do.
I didn't even pick a light source. Let's go up over here, coming down. That's an easy one. 3/4 overhead.
That's the basic.
Yeah.
I support this.
And it also means I can put like a 2 striped highlight on the glove instead of just 1, which I think always looks it makes you look like you know more about lighting than you do.
That's true.
If you can put that second shadow on the other side and just have the highlight between the two, it makes you look super smart.
All the smarts. Yeah, no, my light source choice was basically here for that.
I've been a little more heavy-handed with my shadows lately. I don't know why.
Yeah, you just want to do it.
Yeah. Winter time. It's dark out at like 4 in the afternoon when I'm driving home.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, this character has a very exaggerated physique. He's supposed to look downright silly.
I love him.
I think
I gotta do a drawing of him myself.
I think John pushed it to the point where it's even kind of grotesque, and I love it.
That's so cool, though.
He's got like the big wacky shoulders, like
so good.
his knees.
I love it.
Love the knees. Yeah. Got Crackus with his little martini glass.
That's so good.
I basically took a lot of what I learned from working on the Tick comics over many years and applied it to this character that I came up with in college. And
oh, he's that old.
Yep, yeah, summer of 2003, and then in 2004, I don't know if I have a copy of the sketchbook here. I did. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, and the issue 0, I published in the back the piece I did in college, and there it is.
Oh, cool. Oh yeah, I remember that picture because I have the issue 0. So yeah, that is cool.
And then there's the correlator, there's Liquid Lead, Undersea Hero, and then this character I decided to not use. She was going to kind of be the every person who introduced us to the world, and I kind of wanted to. I thought that was too formulaic, and I wanted to kind of do away with it and just kind of drop you into the animated chaos.
I'm all for that. Yeah, you definitely got the Saturday morning cartoon vibe going. So
I sent a copy to Townsend Coleman, the voice of the Tick, and he was also Michelangelo on the original Ninja Turtles. And I said, look, if they ever ask me who does the voice of Undersea Hero, it would be him. But I wouldn't want him to do his over-the-top Tick voice. I would just want his speaking voice. His regular speaking voice. And then my buddy Jeff McClellan, who's the writer I worked with for many years on the Tick, his Midwestern deadpan is kind of how I pictured Crackus.
Okay, I can see that. I had to make a eye chart for this character.
Eye chart?
Yeah, I wanted the eyes to look a certain way because she's supposed to be Asian. And I was trying to make it so she has kind of Asian eyes. Stylized, but still, I want them to be kind of distinctive.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually made a bunch of drawings of eyes that I did from, life drawings. So
And cue the reference material.
yeah, that's literally what I was doing. I'm like, all right, Google.
Oh, I missed Seashell put an emoji. Yes, a real life bowl. Michael says 3 to 4 years after to get real sable hair Raphael brushes, the UK art supply almost had to pay a tariff because the sables are endangered. Yep.
Yeah.
I was actually worried there was a chance that my books were getting printed in Canada. And I actually had to call the printer and be like, what's the deal? If they're coming from Canada, what's the deal? Because currently, if you're importing most things from Canada, it's an extra 25% paid by the importer.
Yeah.
Thanks to our current administration. Barf.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
And I couldn't afford that. That wasn't built. 25% of the total cost was not built into the Kickstarter.
Oh.
So, but I did find out that currently book printing from Canada, and if you know anything about the magazine industry right now and comic book industry, they're almost all printed in Canada.
Yeah, primarily they are.
The biggest web presses left in the world are in Canada. And currently there are no tariffs on books. So printing of books in Canada, you will not be subject to an extra tariff at the border. And books, comics, periodicals, children's books. I even found out the code designation for the border crossing of it to make sure, just in case. But then it turned out it was being printed stateside. So all that work ended up being moot. But I did learn a crap ton about what I won't be ordering to have to import from elsewhere.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, 25%.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. Our president gives a bad name to the great apes that we are.
I go back to my initial statement. Barf.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I tend to agree with that. It's a good personalized assessment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from the ones that show up from Canada are fine. Yeah, I mean it's interesting because I think even was it Newsweek? Newsweek I think was printed in Canada. I don't know if Time Magazine is. I think even the New Yorker is printed in Canada.
I'm pretty sure the New Yorker is. I know most newspapers print local, so.
Yeah, and most of them have now been like they'll print 6 local newspapers that are all owned by the same parent company on the same press.
Yeah.
At the same time, and just basically change the masthead.
That's exactly what they do.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine used to be a printer and work newspapers and stuff like that. He basically got laid off because of the internet age, but he said that's literally what they've been doing now for years.
Yeah. One of my first comic book gigs was doing little cartoons for the Newark Advocate, which was a little bitty local newspaper in Ohio. I did like 4 or 5 weeks in a row, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll pay you." And then that was my first education of if you're a cartoonist and you don't get it in writing, they're not going to pay you. So
that's right.
When they didn't pay me, I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do any more comics until you pay me. And then I didn't do any more comics. My favorite one was a Father's Day one that I did, and it was just like it was the old joke of like dad always gets a tie.
Mm-hmm.
So I just drew this dad walking out the front door with like 1,000 ties on, and it looked like a lion's mane.
That's awesome. Kind of like that.
Seashell says they're interested in anything that shows effort, and books and art are those things to me. I agree.
Yeah.
There's always the big discussion about the generative AI art and stuff in the comics community now, and I find that most creators that have been around at all are pretty aligned on it.
Yeah. I mean, AI is not going anywhere. Well, one thing that all of us unfortunately have to face. That being said, I don't have many morals and scruples, but there's one thing I definitely won't use.
I did read an interesting article about the economic critical mass of it, and
Oh, it's gonna blow.
it's one of the reasons why they're pushing it everywhere possible to try to change behaviors to get people to adopt it everywhere, because there is a point where it becomes too insolvent to borrow.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating.
Yeah, it will implode on itself pending on its usage and how it is used.
Yeah, it has to get a certain number of users or it will not sustain.
Yep.
Which is just interesting.
Now, I can tell you that pretty much kids everywhere are loving using AI because they can do so many nifty things with it. Like, they can make their own animated cartoons.
I just generally assumed that they would use the same trick that they used with Facebook, which was for any foreign phone sales, it came preloaded. And in some countries, the market saturation was over 90% because of this.
Yeah.
So I figured they would just use the same old trick.
That's kind of what I expect to happen. I mean, Google's basically doing that now, as is Microsoft. You get anything with their stuff, and Google's heavily promoting their AI and things. Why can I not get this stupid eye right? I have to put in my guide.
Michelle says they saw a video the first year this artist really noticed the AI decor at stores like TJ Maxx. I actually took a stroll down the bookstore. I'll just say it was a chain bookstore. We won't name names. And I just walked down the aisle and just pointed at that covers AI, that covers AI, that covers AI. It's just it was a lot.
Oh yeah.
And it's interesting because generally people consider avid readers as ones probably least susceptible to wanting that. Because usually they're, let's be honest, people who read the most tend to be a skew, not as young, like myself.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not as young anymore. I'm not a spring chicken anymore.
I am not in the 18 to 35 demo anymore.
No, I am most certainly not.
So
haven't been for a while.
Like Homer said, I'm a white male, ages 18 to 35. Everyone listens to me, no matter how dumb my idea is. And then he pulls out a jar of gum and nuts together at last.
Oh, God, yeah. There's The Simpsons for everything.
It helps me get through so many days. Even if it's just a random text from my buddy Jay and it's just a quote from Willie that's like, "Go Aberdeen."
That definitely works.
What was the other one that Willie said? The Scots ruined Scotland. I'm part Scottish, so don't.
But yeah, yep. No, AI is auto with Google searches. Martha says there. You can turn it off. I know because I did. Because most of the AI stuff that comes up on it is wrong.
Yeah, there was one time I was just for fun chatting with one of the ones that's well known and just asking it questions about the movie Jaws, and it got things wrong.
Was that like ChatGPT or something?
It was one. I guess it was. It was that one, and I was just asking it really easy questions like, what character has the fewest lines, and then there's of course many characters that have one line, and so there are many answers to this question, and it couldn't answer this question. And And then I asked it questions about Superman, which, comic fan, know a lot about it. And it definitely got many of those wrong.
Yeah,
And it was simple stuff like, where did Superman first fly?
What was its answer? I'm kind of curious.
Its answer was an issue of the comic book, which is wrong.
It was a Fleischer cartoon.
It was the radio show.
Oh, that's right. No, it was a radio show.
Which was
they
before the Fleischer show.
Right.
It was
they had to get around the whole thing of, no, he's not just jumping, he's flying because it's easier to do. And the Fleischer cartoon, I know, adopted very quickly because they're like, we can't make this look good.
Yep. The Fleischer cartoon was like right after. So
yeah, they're very close.
And then it was Superman number 8 or 9, where he is floating above the ground holding Lois. And he's not jumping and he's not running. He's just floating.
Just floating there. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. But yeah. Yeah.
Did I watch any of the WB superhero shows? I did. I thought the Flash, especially the early years, had a lot of heart. It had a lot of budgetary restraints. It had some flaws, but it was a very heartfelt production.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good. I thought that was a good Flash show.
I watched Constantine when it was on for that brief period of time.
Yeah, I loved Constantine.
When I was young, I did watch some of Smallville, but I was not like a prolonged viewer of that one. I watched it probably for the first couple of seasons.
I watched a lot of Smallville.
Yeah.
I've probably seen most of it. I watched all of the last season because it featured Darkseid as the villain.
Well, it was one of those things where it was a totally different world at that time, and there was the superhero thing was not omnipresent. So there were limited choices to watch. And we've talked about this on the stream before, where it was you had to look for this stuff. If you wanted to see the 1990 Albert Pyun Captain America movie, it wasn't like you could just go on YouTube and it was there.
No, you had to go to a Blockbuster and maybe they have it.
Maybe and I remember we would pick out back in the mom and pop years, this store had this movie, this store had that movie, and it would be the harder to find stuff.
Yeah, I used to grade stores by their horror movie section.
Yeah.
Who had the best horror movie selection? That's usually the place I go to first.
Seashell says, I was Smallville.
I like Smallville, but yeah.
You'll be happy. Yeah. And you'll be happy to know that in my years of travels and having interacted with the actors, I have not met a not nice one. So whether it was Michael Rosenbaum or Tom Welling or Kirsten Kruk, or I'm trying to remember the other ones that were there. The lady who was in Superman 2.
Oh, that was Superman 3.
Superman 3, yeah.
Yeah, she played Lana Lang.
Yeah. And then she was Clark's mother. She was very nice.
It's Annette something, I think. Yeah. I don't remember.
I did not meet the gentleman who played Pete, nor did I meet Alison Mack.
Yeah, well, Alison Mack was a little bit hard to meet for a while, considering she was in a jail cell. But
yeah.
Not to be confused with Alison McGlone here, because I've never done anything like that.
Alison has yet to have to serve any incarcerated time.
Yeah, especially for what she did, which I'm not going to say. People can Google it. You can use the Google AI. I'll probably get it wrong.
Yeah, doing conventions when you end up just seeing people when you're out in the back, getting coffee, in the green room or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And some people keep to themselves. Some people are cool. other people are just mean to service people, and then I judge them for the rest of time and don't buy their whatever they're peddling in the future.
I'm actually pretty much the same way with that. So, like Russell Crowe, total asshat. And I know this because he stayed at a hotel I worked at.
I believe it.
And he ended up getting arrested. He punched one of the clerks behind the counter.
Okay,
He was
cool.
filming Cinderella Man, I think, at the time.
A movie about punching.
Yep.
Glad he could keep the realistic world and the fantasy world separate.
Yeah.
Good job, Russ.
I think he's lucky he didn't try punching me at the time.
Yeah.
I think he would have been broken.
The other lady that was at a ton of conventions was the lady that played Supergirl. Trying to remember her name. From the Smallville years.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Did a ton of shows. Pa Kent, who was one of the Duke's boys.
Yep.
The Dukes of Hazzard. He did a ton of shows.
One of the funniest things about that was he was in one of the episodes of Smallville. He's there driving his truck and it's playing the Dukes of Hazzard song and he's singing along with it.
That's funny. People have said things about that guy, but I when you see someone for 5 seconds in a green room and you're like, "Hey, how's the show going?" Generally, it doesn't go much further than that. So I can't say I witnessed any,
Yeah, I never met him. I mean, I've met stars. There's no doubt about that. I mean, Celebration 3, I was backstage for a lot of that stuff because I knew the people who were running the con, and I met all the Star Wars actors that were there.
Oh, nice.
That was pretty cool. I met Samuel L. Jackson, Hayden Christensen, a few others. People who weren't even on the list of guests that were there. And it's one of the places I talked to George Lucas.
Oh, very cool. One of my favorite green room stories was my friend Daryl Banks. I kind of cajoled him into coming out to a show in Colorado Springs, and he was walking back from the green room, and he was like, "Ian, you'll never guess what just happened. La Bamba just showed me how to get to the green room." And he was, of course, referring to Lou Diamond Phillips.
Lou Diamond Phillips.
And he was like, "He's the nicest guy in the world." He was like, "Are you looking for the green room? I'll show you where it is."
That's so good.
So he's like, "La Bamba showed me how to get to the green room." That was one of my favorite green room stories.
That's great. Is it? I met Richard Hatch at a Gen Con. That was kind of amusing. That was like out on the
Battlestar.
I was like out on the street. I met him. He was just like walking back to his hotel or something like that, and like walking. We almost like walked into each other because neither of us were paying attention to where the hell we were going.
Yeah.
He had his arm over he has like both of his arms were over like these rather beautiful women, and he's just sitting there like humming the Battlestar song as they're going, and like I happened to look up and he happened to look up like the same time. We're like, whoa. And he's like, "Oh, sorry about that." I'm like, "It's quite all right."
That sounds like Richard Hatch.
Yep, he was a nice guy. At least he was nice to me, and that's what mattered. I know he said something really dumb to George Lucas. But, he said something about, his head is not coming out very good tonight. But yeah, he said something kind of dumb to him about, because he read for Luke Skywalker. And
Richard Hatch did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lucas,
which makes sense.
Yeah, it was right around that time frame. He read with Kurt Douglas.
Oh, that's cool.
And Lucas said to him, like, "Oh, right now you're consider you an 8, but that could change to a 5 in the morning." And like, he obviously didn't get the piece, and they bumped into him at something like, and when Battlestar was kind of starting to really get going and things, and he goes, "I guess I was a 5."
Yeah.
He's like, "I got Battlestar. It's okay."
Battlestar was a big deal at the time.
It was.
It was a major TV event. You had, they did a big TV like movie of the week
TV
thing for the
movie
launch.
thing
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then it basically crashed because every episode was effectively a 2-hour movie, and it was the most expensive show on television.
It's the same thing with the original Star Trek.
Yep.
The voice actor who was Kal-El's dad in Smallville that passed away. I don't remember.
I know the voice, just like the disembodied voice, that was Jor-El.
Yeah, I know that Chris Reeve showed up in the show eventually.
Yeah, he was in like the first or second season,
Yeah.
something like that. And the episode where basically when he died, they actually like edited the credits in the episode to give like a goodbye to him and everything. It was like the last episode he was in or something.
Yeah. Because he died of like pneumonia or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's complications from it.
Yep. What do you two think of the wicked marketing and the design?
Wicked marketing?
Yeah, it's wicked.
Oh, the play?
Yeah, the movies, I'm guessing.
I haven't seen any of the movies, so I
haven't either.
Yeah.
It didn't work on me, apparently. And I'm like the target audience. I'm a girl.
And you like fantasy stuff.
Yeah, I'm like right there. It's like, Frank L. Baum right there for him. But no, I just didn't care.
If you like Wizard of Oz, I highly recommend checking out the Scotty Young comic books.
I highly, highly recommend those. I mean, they're written by a Baum scholar. And Scotty Young's art is just amazing. I'll say the Wicked stuff, it is pretty. I'll definitely agree with that. That I think that it looks pretty and everything. I'm just not, I don't know. I'll probably see it eventually. I'm just not really that interested.
Catch it on TV at some point.
Basically. Martha had a really beat up, oversized copy of Galactica she inherited from somebody. Those oversized treasury editions are some of them are really valuable.
Yeah. And didn't the Battlestar comics kind of go the same way as the Logan's Run comics, where Marvel thought they had the license to do new material and they did a few issues, and then it turned out they didn't?
Yep. I got a couple of treasury editions right here.
Oh, nice. First solo Thanos was in one of those. What was it? What issue of Logan's Run was it? Like issue 7?
Yeah, there was a backup story or something at Thanos.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got Conan the Barbarian, number 4.
Red Nails.
Yep.
Nice.
Actually, let's see. Yep, Red Nails is in here. It starts on page 40.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, no, this stuff is beautiful. So I think this is
it's the more mature Barry stuff.
Yeah, this is Barry Smith stuff. So yeah.
Call me crazy. I don't love the earlier Barry stuff.
No, I can understand it. I prefer more of his later stuff.
Yeah. One of my favorite things that he ever worked on was his team up with Herb Trimpe on the Machine Man.
Oh yeah, that stuff was great.
It's right around the time of the Weapon X stuff.
Yep. And we got Barry Smith doing Red Sonja.
Yeah, first appearance.
Yep. The Song of Red Sonja. They loosely adapted Shadow of the Vulture.
I enjoyed working on the Red Sonja cover that I did for Dynamite. I thought they were easy to work with. They got feedback on prelims really quickly. I thought that was a good deal.
Yeah, I need to reach out and contact them to do some stuff with them. To do those covers. So I think that'll be fun. And plus, I'd love to draw Red Sonja.
Yeah, I have heard that because of the cost of some of the licenses, that some of the like if you teamed up with a store, the exclusives are a little more expensive than they used to be. But they're still doing them. They just I think it's also because some of the major folks that used to do tons of them haven't been doing them, so like they don't necessarily have the volume that they used to. Because like back in the day, every artist was doing some sort of exclusives to sell at shows just because they were doing well.
Yeah. What is Red Sonja's plot and story arc? Well, do you want the real Red Sonja or the comic Red Sonja? The real Howard character is incredibly different than the one that Roy Thomas created, which I still don't understand how Marvel doesn't own. But
I would bet that it's like an original deal with the licensor,
yeah. So okay,
kind of like the Dire Wraiths ending up with the ROM license.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that one either. So yeah.
Or you could watch the Brigitte Nielsen.
Oh, you can watch the Brigitte Nielsen movie. The new one's actually kind of fun.
I haven't seen it.
Just came out. I watched it. I thought it was fun.
Where were you able to see it? Did you see it on? Is it on a streaming?
Yeah, it's on
service?
streaming services. I actually rented it for like $4.
Oh, okay.
And it was worth the $4.
I like fun genre stuff, so I'd probably check it out.
Yeah, it was good. It basically it actually takes a bit from Gail Simone's stuff.
I thought she had actually like worked on one of these scripts. I thought I had read that. I don't know if it was this one, but I thought I had read that she had worked on a Red Sonja script. She did the book.
I mean, she did it pretty well. I mean, I read her Red Sonja, and I actually really enjoyed it.
I liked some of Gail's stuff, but with a lot of the like with the Dynamite stuff, I didn't always love the art.
Yeah, no, I had that problem too.
And I liked, and I called this years ago in the Amy Chu run of Red Sonja. She worked with an artist who is now doing like major events over at Marvel. His name's Carlos Gomez. He did Fantastic Four for the last like few years. He did Spider-Man. He did Mary Jane. Like I saw his stuff over at Dynamite, and I was like, this guy's not going to be here for very long.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because he does like, I would describe him as doing like a hybridized version of Joe Mad and what was that artist from Pablo? God, what was his name? His last name?
I know who you're talking about. I'm trying to get the name, but I know who you're talking about. I'm gonna have to Google him in a second. But yeah. All right. Well, to answer Seashell's basic question about Red Sonja, she effectively in the comics was a Harkanian woman who had some type of a deal with her goddess that the man who beat her in combat would be the person that she would lie with. Remember, this is the 1970s. And the Brigitte Nielsen movie basically used that storyline. And the more modern interpretation is that she was a gladiator, and was like a her people were mostly wiped out, and that she was a gladiator that has well,
Paco Rivera.
Paco Rivera, right? Okay,
there we go. Sorry, that would have driven me insane.
no, I understand. So yeah, she was like a Hyrcanian slave that escaped, or actually was liberated. Probably the better way of putting it. That's more of her modern origin. The recent movie uses more of the she basically is a gladiator during it, and they actually used an I'm trying to remember the word, but it's actually the Roman word for basically the people who went into the gladiatorial arenas just to be executed, and that's like what her group is and all that, and that she's kind of a part of. And needless to say, she doesn't die. So, spoiler alert: she doesn't die in the movie.
It's the hero. They gotta make it through the first act.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a fun movie. I would recommend it. Now, the original character by Robert E. Howard appears in one story. She's not the lead character. She might as well be, because she's better written than the lead character. And she's in a historical piece where she is basically in a city that's currently I believe they're being sacked by the Turks. And the leader of the group that's doing the sacking is a man known as the Vulture, who was a historical general or something like that. And that's why the story was called Shadow of the Vulture. And basically the adventure kind of goes on while they're dealing with this city under siege. It's a very interesting story. It's also spelled differently.
Sonya?
Yeah, it's YA, not JA. So. Yeah. And to this day, Wendy Pini is the greatest Red Sonja cosplayer ever to live.
Definitely the most infamous.
Yes.
Thanks to Frank Thorne and the what was it, Red Sonja Con back in the day.
Yeah, it's mainly Frank Thorne, but yeah. Oh yeah, no, she's awesome. And that's basically where you get the stereotype of the chainmail bikini from, is from Red Sonja.
Designed by Esteban Maroto.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting that story came in, which was later, because you see the Barry Windsor Smith one, it's like a chainmail T-shirt. And
yeah, just wearing a chain shirt.
There was a story that Esteban Maroto had penciled that came in, and Neil Adams saw it when it was in the office, and he's like, I'm inking that. No one else is inking that. I'm inking that. And he inked that story, and they reprinted it in Marvel Feature, and it was in either I know they reprinted it in Savage Sword at some point, or Conan Saga, but was it Savage Tales that it first showed up in? I don't remember.
The first appearance of Sonja, or the first appearance of the chainmail bikini?
The chainmail bikini.
I think that was Savage Tales.
Yeah. It was Maroto and Neil Adams working on that one.
Yeah.
Because I remember at one point I was at San Diego, and if you know anything about the layout of San Diego basically from about 1987 to 2020, the last year, 22, the last year I was there, whatever it was, with NEC. I was there 23 or 24 with Doug. But the last year NEC was there, they for decades were sitting across from Neil Adams. So like every year we'd be sitting there, and I basically would spend a week with Neil Adams in the morning when he's like drinking his like heavily sugared coffee. I know they would say it's black, but I would see him put sugar in it. So maybe he wasn't supposed to, but I saw it with my very own eyes.
That doesn't surprise me.
But I had asked him at once because it was so odd just seeing, because usually when Neil inked a random magazine story back then, it was with his studio and it was under the Krusty Bunkers moniker, because he would ink the faces and then all the other guys in the studio would ink different parts because he would be doing commercial jobs, penciling a book, and running continuity studios with Dick Giordano. So.
Yep. Doug's a 90s show. I guess somebody needs clarification of who Doug is.
Doug Paskevich, he's an artist who did a book called Arsenic Lullaby, and he worked for Mad Magazine. He's done work with Valiant Comics, and he did a Axe of Helena cover. When I first started doing Undersea Hero, I have a copy right here. He invited me to come and table with him at San Diego that year and show off what I was working on, and we ended up doing the issue 0, and I have one of the very few copies left here, and it got the official San Diego Comic-Con 2023 debut. So yeah, it was the 2023 show, and this was all over their social media and got a big push, and we sold out of all the regular copies, and then I pretty much just have sketch covers left. And yeah, it was very cool. Like, and all the news sources at that time, San Diego was humming, and you had the craze of all of the Funko Pop people. You had all the major movie studios doing the big Hall H presentations. And one year there was the Tick TV show, which, being the Tick artist, you know, at that show, we got to go to, you know, the panel, hang out with all the actors like Jackie Earle Haley, who was in the show, and
I forgot he was in that.
Peter Serafinowicz played the Tick, and yeah, it was a very cool experience. And we were there with Ben Edlund, who created the Tick and was the showrunner for the Tick show, and he was also the executive producer on like Supernatural and stuff. And they built this giant outside set of the Tick show, and there were these giant Tick antennae that you could see from 10 blocks away, and it was surreal. Like, it's this, the Tick is this book that we all know as this little New England thing, but because of Ben and having been like Joss Whedon's fixer guy for years, and then moving on, you know, he worked on Angel, he worked on Firefly,
worked on a bit on Buffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, breaking off and doing his own thing. He worked with Jackson Public and Doc Hammer on the Venture Brothers. Yeah, I mean, he worked on Gotham for a number of years, and then he kind of bounced around as like a script fixer. And there's just like a bunch of, you look on his IMDb, there's a bunch of random shows that he has done, like, you know, a number of episodes for. Powers, they tried to send him over to that, what was it, the Apple TV show Powers.
Oh yeah, they did try to put him on that, didn't they? I can't remember if he actually did that.
He did, yeah.
Or he did end up doing it.
Convention World blew up from 2013 to 2018. Yeah. And in 2023 and 2022, I was doing like at least a show a month in a different part of the country.
No, it's pretty mild. Like, you were never home.
And I'm working on booking, you know, stuff for next year. So
yeah, I got to get back into the con scene. It's just expensive.
That's expensive, and then, like, you know, I could have just kept going with the same stuff at my table, but I just felt like I needed to have, you know, the new book, had to have new stuff to do. And, you know, I always found, and this is something I talk to other creators about, like, doing the same show every year, you know, it can get you some notoriety locally, but I always felt like that there was usually a diminishing return. So, like, I would do a show one year and then not do it the next intentionally, and then come back a couple of years later, you know. And then there are the shows that your friends are like, you got to do the show, you got to do the show. And then you ask them, did you make any money? And they're like, no, but you got to do it because it's awesome. And it's like, well, is this a business or what?
Yeah, is this a business or a hobby?
Yeah.
I mean,
and then there's the shows that I do because I like them, you know. There was a little show around here for years, and I actually sent the showrunner an email for it. Was in North Attleboro, and it was just this little Knights of Columbus Hall show.
I love that show.
Yeah, and they're over in Franklin now, and I was like, hey, if you've got any open spots, you know, next year, shoot me a call or shoot me a text. And And the whole point is to go hang out with some of your pals, make a few bucks for spending in dollar bins, and just because you like it.
Yeah, we used to do that show together.
Yeah.
You, me, Jay, random other person, Marie would hang out.
Jonathan would come and show up.
Yep. Occasionally Rick would come by.
Yep.
My buddy Dave would come by sometimes.
That show used to occasionally get like, I don't know if it's just because of the schedule or whatever. There would be like every now and again there'd be like one major dealer from New York set up like in the corner. And there was one year where one came and he had, a bunch of original art for sale. And I ended up buying a Adam Hughes page from Dead of Honor, the Star Trek book.
Yeah.
And it was beat to hell. It was personalized. It had coffee stains all over it. But I think I paid like $40 for it.
That sounds like it's worth every penny.
Yeah.
Only convention I've been to was a college one. You're 17. Yeah, I've been to a lot of conventions.
There's a lot of different types of conventions. Like most of the people that aren't into comics want to go to the celebrity shows, like because they want to see, actors, whatever. And that's their prerogative, But the truth is like when I'm doing the show as an artist, those aren't usually the best shows for artists,
No.
With a show like that, when I did fan expos for a while, we would try to work out a deal where I'm not paying for everything. Whether they just give me a table and I pay for my flight and hotel or whatever, because it's really hard to make that money back with an audience that's there not for comics.
Yeah, because most of them are, like you said, they're there for whatever star it is or wrestling person.
Right, yeah. And that's, and if they're making money and that's their show, that's fine. I just can't always do them.
Yeah, like I'm going to go up to Mice this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Go there and hang out for a bit, see some friends, and probably hang out at the Boston Comics Roundtable.
Are they having a meetup?
Yeah, they have a table there.
Okay. Say hi to Dan.
Well, I will. I'll drop off some of my books and stuff and see if they need me to sit at the table for a bit.
Yeah. Seashell.
Yeah, it's called MICE, M-I-C-E, and it's the Massachusetts Independent Comic Book Expo. It's free to get into.
Is it still at Leslie?
I believe it is. I'll double check. Okay. I believe it is. I'll definitely look before I drive up there.
Yeah. I remember when I first... I used to set up at Mice, and I remember when I first did a Turtles cover and a Tick issue, and then I went one more time, and I had people there telling me that I was too mainstream now. Doing a comic book that is published by a store and a variant cover. I was like, okay.
Sure. I don't think they understand what mainstream is.
You're too mainstream for this now. I'm like, okay. Have a good show. Bye.
Thank you. Drive through.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's... Yeah. Too mainstream. Oh, are you still working with Carlissa on her book?
I haven't done anything in a little while. She knows where to find me. I'm always happy to do a variant or whatever. She had mentioned maybe doing a story, but I basically have told everyone, including some pretty big IPs, that until Undersea Hero's in the can, I'm not really doing any sequential stuff for anybody else until it's done. And I know that is, disappointed some people, but, and I've talked to a handful of folks that are fine with it, and they're like, hey, we'll just set something up when you're done, which is great. So,
I got ideas for when you're done.
Well, we're going to do for the stream channel, we're going to do the Dime Box Comics, which is our own anthology.
Yep, we'll definitely be doing that
for fun, and it's going to be for short stories of public domain superheroes. I'm going to be doing a character that was drawn by both Joe Kubert and Carmine Infantino.
Oh,
back in the day.
part of me really wishes I could do Fighting American, but like Liefeld owns it, so.
He doesn't own it, actually.
Oh, he doesn't? I thought he did.
He licensed it from the Simon estate.
Oh, okay.
And
Public domain.
Simon's grandson is doing something with it.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that is cool. Yeah, I see Simon's grandson. He's had a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's been trying to get some projects together. I talked to him about it at Little Giant a couple of years ago. He seems like a nice fella, and he seems to want to like do right by it. So that's one of the reasons it hasn't been like, well, let's just make the first Kickstarter we can make.
Yeah.
He seems like a nice fella.
Oh yeah, the streaming group that I'm with on Sundays. I stream with the Sunday Morning Funnies on Indie Comics Network.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be doing a horror anthology.
Oh, nice.
Very much in the vein of creepy and eerie.
Black and white?
Yep.
Nice.
Black and white. We got a couple ideas for the different, hosts, as it were. And yeah, it should be kind of interesting.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Looking forward to seeing it. You want some of the books at Mice? Yeah, Mice is fun. Mice is usually a fun show. I haven't been in forever.
If you see Kat Lemmy, let me know. I haven't seen her in ages, and she's someone I have wanted to bug about a commission for a little while. I know she kind of like stopped doing comics for a little while, but if you see her there, let me know.
I'll bug Kat for you. I haven't seen Kat in forever.
I adore her work.
Yeah, she's good. She's really good.
All right. Well, we've actually run late tonight, so.
I'm late.
Yeah.
What were we thinking?
It's past my bedtime.
Yeah, it's getting close to my bedtime too. I have a busy day potentially tomorrow, so I didn't really get a ton done. But I gotta mess with this a little bit.
We both had to do what do you call it?
Troubleshooting.
Troubleshooting. Well, thanks everybody for coming to hang out. Thank you, Allison, for joining us tonight.
Well, I always love hanging out with you.
Likewise, it's always a pleasure. Makes it way easier.
That's true. You get somebody to constantly talk to.
That's right. All right. Well, I'll see everybody, and hope to see you next week. And have a great weekend.
Yeah, have a great one.